Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I'm going to assemble the new MDF gingerbread house. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's new gingerbread house die and their gingerbread embellishment cluster, along with the MDF gingerbread house. This one has a stand, so you can stand it up on, as a decoration at Christmas, or you could obviously, have it anywhere in your house. It'll look really cute on a tiered tray. Okay, so anyway, first I cut out the main pieces of this gingerbread house out of American Crafts brown cardstock. And then I'm using Distress ink and vintage photo to ink around the edges of it. I also cut the certain pieces out again with a heavyweight kraft cardstock just to give it a little bit of sturdiness when I have to, add some dimension to it. So that's what I did. So first I'm going to add on this bottom part of the house. You'll note that there's a skinnier part, like there's stitching along that piece. And then there's a skinnier plank, and that actually is supposed to go on the bottom. So that's how you kind of orient that. So you just sort of layer it up. I'm using my Barely Art glue, working on my Stampin' Up pad. All my die cutting was done with my Anna Griffin Empress machine. So I'm just going to line up my roof now, and I'm going to make sure I've got enough glue there and everything. And I do weight everything down in between with an acrylic block. There we are. So this is my piece of kraft cardstock that I'm using for stability. And then I'm layering it up that little front part of the house, and I will weight that down because I'm going to bump that part up with some dimension. So I'm just going to be sticking things together. So I'm adding the top piece to this little chimney that was cut out of light brown cardstock as well for the top part. And now I'm going to be adding on more details. So these little windows were cut from Doodlebug's Gingerbread Kisses. I used the 6-inch pad and the 12-inch pad. So these solid colors came from the 12-inch pad. There's a big striped piece of paper that I used. And I'm just putting together the windows. So yellow for the inside of the window to make it look like it's glowing inside. And then the outside, I have this nice little kind of aqua color. I'm just weighting them all down using my reverse tweezers. There we are. And then Bob's your uncle, you'll have your windows done. And now I'll put together the little wreath. Same thing, cut it out of the Gingerbread Kisses. 12-inch paper line. I'm just adding those on. All the little pieces. And I just find all these little cut pieces just add so much dimension to this, little house. And it looks super cute sitting on my tiered tray. So now I'm putting together these lollipops, and I didn't even end up using them. But I could have. So that's why I left it in here. So this was cut out of paper tray ink white cardstock. And then again, out of this green from that 12-inch Doodlebug paper line, Gingerbread Kisses. And weighting everything down. So now I'm going to add on this cute little chimney. And it just looks adorable. And now I will add on all my other pieces quickly here. So I didn't use the base piece for this one just because, I'm using my actual MDF piece as the base. So my little door was cut from that same Doodlebug Gingerbread Kisses 12-inch paper line. And now this piece is cut from the Gingerbread House, or the Gingerbread Kisses 6-inch paper line. So it's a little striped paper. I just thought it was kind of fun. I do weight it down with an acrylic block in between. This is the same pattern. It's a diagonal stripe. I just thought it added a little something. And I'm just going to add that down to the front of my little house. Isn't this cute? And I'll add this little trim piece as well. This goes underneath the chimney. This is like super straightforward. It's exactly like assembling the gingerbread house. Of course, you can sort of let your, personality shine in this. I'm going to pop up the front of this house with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. I think this would be fun for kids to put together. If you had the pieces cut out, You could use the MDF piece and you could have your kids, you know, make their own little gingerbread houses that you could keep forever on your mantle, right? And this is when I think it would be fun to pull out like enamel, Doodlebug's enamel shape sprinkles, you know, for a little bit of shine. That's always fun. Okay, so this is Simon Says Stamp white glitter cardstock. I'm going to add that on, you know, for a little bit of glitz and shine. So all these icing pieces I cut using that. Now for my little gumdrops, I cut them, instead of using the gumdrops in the package with the gingerbread house dies, I used the gingerbread cluster die set, or the gingerbread embellishment cluster die set. And I cut out all of them in all the different colors. And I cut out the bigger ones and the smaller ones with the extra layer of kraft cardstock just to add a little bit of dimension to them. And I do glue them together and add that dimension. And I do weight it down with an acrylic block. So I'm going to add on my little windows. I use the little stitched lines, you know, as reference, just to get everything straight. There we go. And just getting everything put together. It's lots of fun. And I'm adding those are the little window bases cut out of that light brown cardstock as well. Adding the window on the roof. And then this piece of glitter as well, which is lots of fun. There we go. And now I will stick down my little gumdrops on top. Now, the reason why I put that kraft cardstock on the back is because it's going to stick out past the MDF piece. And I wanted it to have a little bit more sturdiness and also to look kind of uniformly brown at the back, if you know what I mean. Because, you know, Leanne's crazy about those kind of details. So I'm just going to add on all of these little gumdrops, and I'm going to sort of clamp them in place using my reverse tweezers, just so they dry down really, really tightly and flat. There we go. Okay, so next I'm going to add my little wreath on the door. And I just think this is the cutest little gingerbread house. So cute. And I'll add these other little details. Now you can put these two where you'd like, but I'm going to put them, you know, leaving a little bit of room for my gumdrops, but enough that this little icing line will show. So I'm adding those on either side of the door, like I said, using the stitched lines as, you know, as a reference. So I have these adorable little shape sprinkles, and I have no idea what they're called. They came in a package. I really don't know, and they were kind of loose. But I'm using this little tiny one for the doorknob. And then I'm going to add on these little gingerbread, or not gingerbread, these little gumdrops to the front. So I cut them out of all the different colors. I try to repeat, you know, the colors and the stripes, just so, you know, for continuity and repetition and all those things. So I'm going to add one of each, like, you know, a gumdrop to each side beside the door, and then I'm going to pop up the one in the center, if you know what I mean, just for a little bit more dimension. And because in that gingerbread embellishment cluster set, you know, you have 6 of each gumdrop available to you to cut out and use. It's really handy. So you can cut them all out at once. So I'm adding little white hearts to the center of each window just for some more shine. And then instead of using those little lollipops, I decided to use these candy canes. Now, Doodlebug, you know, releases new shape sprinkles for Christmas every year, so they always have some sort of candy that you can use, but isn't that fun? I just think it turned out adorable. Now I'm going to pull out my diamond Stickles and add some sugar to each of these little gumdrops for fun. And now you have a super cute little gingerbread house to put on your tiered tray, like I said, or your mantle, or, you know, for Christmas decorations, anything like that. Isn't that fun? So now you've got it on a stand. And there we go. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team. The Jaded Blossom store to maybe get your hands on these products. They will come back in the store shortly. Bye, everybody.